All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a huge question in education today. What if the biggest distraction in the classroom is actually its most powerful, untapped resource? Yeah, we're talking about social media. We're going to dive into how things like TikTok and YouTube can be transformed from distractions into incredible learning tools.
So let's frame the debate right here, right now. For years, we've been told that phones and social media are, the enemy of focus. But what if we're looking at this all wrong? Is social media really just a distraction, or could it actually be the modern textbook? It's a big thought, so let's dig in.
Okay, to even begin to answer that, we've got to shift our whole mindset. It's about seeing this technology not as some kind of threat, but as an incredible tool that can take learning way, way beyond the four walls of a classroom.
So what's the big idea here? Well, the core concept is that ICT, that's just a fancy term for information and communication technology. It's about so much more than just sticking a few computers in a classroom. Its real purpose, the whole point, is to completely shatter the old limits. We're talking about breaking down the physical walls of the school, getting rid of the limits of a 9-to-3 school day, and just opening up a whole new world of learning.
And a huge part of this is something called microlearning. Honestly, it's a total game changer. Think about it. Instead of a super dense, hour-long lecture that makes your eyes glaze over, you chop up a big idea into these short, super focused, bite-sized videos. It's tailor-made for how our brains work now, for how we scroll and consume information. It makes really complex stuff feel so much less scary.
Let me give you a really clear example. Say you're trying to teach photosynthesis, right? Instead of one long, boring explanation, you could make 3 quick 1-minute videos. The first one, just the big picture. The second, a quick dive into chlorophyll. And the third, how carbon dioxide becomes oxygen. See, each piece is simple, it's digestible, and this is the best part. A student can just rewatch that one little part they're stuck on over and over.
Okay, so when you do this, the benefits are just massive. First off, students can learn literally anytime, anywhere, at their own pace. And it's not a one-size-fits-all approach anymore. Think about it. You got a visual learner, a 30-second TikTok animation explaining a physics concept. That could be way more powerful than a whole page of a textbook. What about an auditory learner? Perfect for a podcast. And for kinesthetic learners, you've got interactive games. But here's the kicker, the most important part. It meets students on the platforms where they're already hanging out for hours every single day.
Right, that all sounds fantastic in theory, doesn't it? But how do we actually pull this off in the real world? Let's get practical and look at an action plan for the people who can make it happen.
So here's the thing. This can't just be a few rogue teachers doing their own thing. It absolutely needs support from the top. We're talking about school leaders organizing training for teachers who are ready to create this kind of content, maybe even setting up little digital content creation teams. But, and this is the big one, they have to create super clear, super strong guidelines on safety, ethics, and privacy. You got to make sure this whole thing is done responsibly.
And this quote, this really nails the entire philosophy behind it. It's not about trying to force today's students to learn using yesterday's methods. No way. It's about us, the educators, adopting our methods to fit the world our students are actually living in right now.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. This approach isn't a magic bullet. There's a catch, and the source material is very clear on this. If students only get a diet of short-form content, it could actually hurt their ability to focus for longer periods of time. That's a huge concern, right? So for educators, finding that perfect balance is absolutely critical.
All right, to really see both the incredible power and the very real challenges of this, let's check out a fantastic case study. It's the story of a single math lesson that went viral. So picture this. It all started so simply. There was this math teacher in Indonesia, and she just wanted a better way to help her own students review algebra. That's it. So she started making these simple 1-minute tutorial videos and just threw them up on TikTok. Her goal was totally local. She was just trying to help the kids in her own class.
But, the internet had other plans. Her videos were so clear, so engaging, that they just took off. Before she knew it, she had over 100,000 followers from all around the globe. You had students in the comments saying things like, "Your 60-second video finally made this click for me after I struggled for years." It was amazing.
And this story, it perfectly shows the two sides of this coin. I mean, the opportunities were mind-blowing, right? You've got global reach, crazy student engagement, she even got attention from the Ministry of Education. But then, the challenges became just as real.
I mean, how do you even begin to manage questions from thousands of strangers? And how do you make absolutely sure every single fact is 100% accurate when you only have 60 seconds? It just brings all those potential downsides we talked about into sharp, real-world focus. It's powerful, for sure, but it's also a really demanding new reality.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? What's the final lesson? It really all comes down to one thing: finding a smart, balanced approach when we bring these powerful new tools into education.
So let's break down the key takeaways. Number 1, don't fight the tide. Tap into the channels students are already on. Number 2, you got to actively work to turn those social media platforms into avenues for education. 3, this can't be the Wild West. Leaders need to guide the process to make sure the content is actually good. And finally, and maybe most importantly, digital citizenship and safety have to be priority number 1, non-negotiable.
And this final quote from our source material just sums it all up perfectly. The goal isn't to just ban or ignore these platforms. That ship has sailed. The real goal is to promote the creative and responsible use of them, but always with caution and good judgment. You know, it's about being innovative, yeah, but also being incredibly wise about it.
And so that leaves us with one last question. Something for you to think about, whether you're a teacher, a parent, or, hey, just someone who loves to learn. Just look at the digital world all around us. What's one tool, one app, one platform that your students, or maybe even you, already love that could become tomorrow's lesson? Think about it. The answer is probably already in your pocket.